Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Anna, and I'm with the New Mexico Small Business Development Center. Today, we have our lovely Eric Spellman with us, public speaker guru, who will be presenting 3 social media mistakes that will sink your business. We'll be using the Q&A function to take questions and welcome attendee participation. So don't hesitate to ask us any questions should you have them. And Eric will field those questions during and at the end of the webinar. He's really good at picking them up. So don't hesitate to ask those questions. Thanks for joining us. And without further ado, I'll hand it over to you, Eric.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, here we go, folks. I hope you're ready. We're going to talk about some social media mistakes. Now, obviously, I could just list them for you right now. I mean, we could be one and done in 30 seconds, but that's not what I'm going to do. Because when we talk about social media, you need to know the right way to do it as well. And knowing some of you, you haven't gone back and watched every single hour-long YouTube video that I've done for my wonderful NMSBDC people. So I'm going to make sure that not only do you know the 3 mistakes you must not ever do, but you're going to learn what you should do. I'm going to teach you how to turn your social media into a business provider, into a lead generator, into something that helps your business grow. So let's get started. And don't worry, I will be talking about those 3 mistakes. But first, let's talk about the right way. Because chances are your social media, when you dove into it as a business, you did it as a check mark, a fill in the blank, a box that you're checking off because, someone said, oh, you got to do social media if you're a company. So you went, oh, okay. So you went out and created a page and you made an occasional post. And then when you didn't see anything right away, when you didn't feel like anything was happening, you just kind of abandoned it. It's like crickets, cobwebs growing on your page now. Well, I'm here to wipe those cobwebs away. Because if you do it right, and I'm about to show you how to do it right. If you do it right, I'm telling you, it can turn it into a powerhouse. Some of the best marketing you will ever do. And it basically costs you nothing, except a little bit of your time. So let's talk about it. Why in the heck, and by the way, ask your questions below. This topic is one I get questions on a lot. And I want to make sure you understand it because there is a lot of misunderstandings about social media out there. Why in the world do we even use social media? Why use it from a business standpoint? Or better yet, even why do we use it as for personal uses? I mean, why did Facebook go gangbusters when it came out? Why did social media go crazy? Why is everyone on social media? You're like, quit asking questions and answer them, Spellman. Well, you got to understand the psychology. And remember, I've told you on all my videos, if you understand basic human psychology, you can rule the world. You can rule the planet. You can pretty much sell anything to anybody. So understand how the human mind works. And I'm going to give you a short little psychology 101. We're going to talk about what our social media goals are. We're going to talk about the perfect post. And yes, I'm even going to show you all the ingredients, the 4 ingredients that should go into every single social media post you do to help you not make those mistakes. And then I'm going to give you some actual example posts. Now, people, don't worry about writing all this down. You're going to see a lot of text in this presentation, and I don't want you furiously writing it down and not focusing on what I'm saying. So my wonderful host will be making this entire presentation available for you. You can download all the slides. And of course, it'll be up on the YouTube channel, the NMSBDC YouTube channel. You can watch it as many times as you want. Please watch it a lot. So let's turn to why do we use social media? Here's that psychology 101. You have to realize that every human on this planet has a basic need. Okay, and they teach you what the words are for naming this in psychology classes. I'm not going to go into that because we're mainly just talking about getting you some more customers, okay? So that need is relevance. Every single human out there needs to feel relevant. They need to feel like they matter, like they make a difference, like they exist for a purpose. Every single human has that basic need, okay? And you need to understand that because as a business, if you understand that, you can help feed that need that they have. You really can. And when you feed that need, I ought to trademark that. When you feed that need that they have, you're basically building a relationship with them that will withstand any of your competitors. When we talk about relevance, let's talk about their opinion. We need our opinion to matter. We need to be able to say what we believe. We need to be able to, for people to care about what we say and what we believe and why we believe it. If we think we're irrelevant, if we think we don't matter, then what's the whole purpose of life anyway, right? So every human has a hole in them, if you will, a gap that needs to be filled, and that gap is relevance. They need to feel like they have a purpose. They need to feel like they matter in this world. And I know that sounds so simplistic, and you're saying, what does this have to do with social media? I'm getting there. Just realize that every human has that very, very specific need, and more importantly, and more laser focused, you need your opinion to be heard. People love to give their opinions. Trust me, everyone likes to give their opinion on something, and because it feeds that need. When we're in a group of people and we say, hey, here's what I think, that is actually filling a need. It's making us feel important. And if everyone, if everyone agrees, if they, for instance, you tell a joke and they laugh, that is giving you feedback, right? It's giving you positive feedback. It's giving you, it's filling that need, okay? It is truly filling that need. It's like a joke. It's like when you talk, you want people to feel that you're relevant. And so like when you're on a stage and you're talking, and then at the end of a theater performance, what do? People clap. You see what that's doing? That's showing relevance. What you said mattered. It affected us. It gave us an emotional feeling. We enjoyed it. You entertained us. Everyone has that basic need, not to be on a stage necessarily, but they have a need to matter. And like I said, I can't go over this enough. You need to understand that, because I really believe if you understand this as a business owner, you're going to go far with this. So get back. There we go. And we like to get feedback. Now, what kind of feedback do we like to get? Well, like I said, if you're telling a joke, you want laughter. If you're on a stage, you want clapping. But if you're on the internet, you want someone going, I agree, or you want to like. And that's right. When you make a comment on social media and people like it, that's feedback. You see what I'm saying? You're receiving something in return. People are basically saying you're relevant. Yes, I agree with you. Your opinion is a good one. That's why we like likes, okay? And when people comment back, it's the same thing, except they're actually interacting with you. So, what are the social media goals that we have? Okay, now that you understand the psychology of it all, what are business social media goals? Business, okay? We're not talking about, you just posting jokes and memes all the time. We're talking about what the business goals are. People ask me all the time. They say, Mr. Spellman, can you go look at our social media account, our company's social media account, and tell us what we're doing right or wrong? And I say, sure. And so I will go to their Facebook page and I'll give it a good 3 seconds. I mean, I will spend that full 3 seconds deciding whether they're doing it right or wrong. Now you may be asking, Eric, 3 seconds. How in the world can you know if they're doing it right or wrong within 3 seconds? That's because I'm only looking at one thing. You see, if you want to know if your social media is working or not from a business standpoint, okay? If you want to know whether it's working, there's only one place you need to look, and it ain't likes. Likes are lazy, likes are lazy, likes are lazy. Now, I know we like receiving them, but let me just tell you, people will like your stuff and move on, because if the goal is for people to remember who you are, for you to be branded, they got to spend more time with you. And how many times have you been scrolling through one of your friends, on Facebook, and you see one of your friends posted and you don't even read all of it, but you like it? Why? Because they're your friend. Admit it. And you just wanted to show almost like a little shout out. Hey, love ya. That's all you're doing. I'm telling you, likes are lazy. Don't you dare count the number of likes on a post and think, oh, I'm doing great on social media. Is a business, if you post and get a bunch of likes, that's worthless, okay? Because what do people do on Facebook? They're scrolling and they're skipping stuff. And if people type a long group of paragraphs, they don't even read it anymore. They're only stopping on what? Photos, which I will get to in a second. So here's the deal. What is Spellman looking at? Well, I'm not looking at shares either. Shares are better than likes because basically they're sharing what you did to all their people, and that's better. But you want to know how I measure success? You want to know whether I think you as a business are doing well on social media? I count the number of comments on your post. That's right, comments. Because too many of you as businesses look at social media as a one-way megaphone. You know, you look at it as, hey, we're having a special today. Hey, come in today. Hey, and then you just put down your megaphone and walk away. No, social media is not a one-way place for you to yell your specials. This is not a newspaper. This is not a TV commercial. It's not a one-way avenue. Social media is two-way. It is interactive. And the only piece of interactivity you get on social media is comments. So folks, you count the number of comments you're getting on your business post. That is the only way you're going to know whether you're doing this right. Because think about it. When people comment on your post, what are they doing? They're focusing on what you said. They're thinking about what you said, and they're interacting with you. They're spending a lot of their brain time on you. And that is the most valuable thing you will ever get on social media. So can I just be straight with you? Your goal is to get comments. That's it. Your goal is to get comments. And when you get comments, you're going to be achieving that top of mind awareness. Now, for those of you that don't know, what is top of mind awareness? That's very important for you to have. Top of mind awareness is where your company's name or even your personal name is the name that comes up when people think of your industry. It's kind of like this. If I said, let's go have some pizza, what's the first pizza place you thought of? You know, maybe it's a national chain like Domino's or Pizza Hut, or maybe it's a local place that you love in your town. But the point is, there is one pizza place that comes to your mind that you associate with the word pizza. That company occupies top of mind awareness for you. So here's my question. Does your company occupy other people's minds for top of awareness for what you do in your industry, in your field of expertise? Are you the first person they think of? If not, social media can help you get there. Now, the way national companies do it is by burying you in advertising. Like every TV commercial you see, you get postcards in the mail. I mean, they are just going for that top of mind awareness. And you may not have that kind of budget to be able to do that. But guess what? With social media, you can still achieve it. And it will cost you nothing, just a little bit of time. Social media also allows you to promote your expertise. And what have I been telling you this whole time? People would rather do business with what? An expert than a salesman. That's right. People would rather do business with an expert than a salesman. Stop calling your salesmen salesmen. They're experts, okay? They're consultants, whatever they are, but they're experts. That is how you need to describe them. Because like I said, people would rather do business with an expert than a salesperson. So promote your expertise on social media. There's so many ways to do it. Generate viral content, and that's what I'm going to be showing you how to do, okay? Viral content means that other people share it, and you don't have to. In other words, you post it, but other people go, whoa, I got a friend who needs to see this, and they share it, and then those people share it, and like a virus, it just spreads around the world, okay? You want viral content. In this case, viral is a good thing because like I said, it's other people spreading what you post. Now, I've given you a whole presentation on how to make things go viral, okay? You go back and look, you'll find it. But real quick, the key is understanding that human psychology. You know, on social media, the only things that go viral are things that either educate or entertain. That's it. Educate or entertain. TV commercials ain't going to do it. So don't you dare post a TV commercial on social media. You either got to be entertaining, you got to make me laugh or make me learn. That's it. And so that's why memes and jokes and funny videos go so viral, because they entertain people. Or, life hacks. You ever heard of those life hacks where they teach you how to make something really cool out of something you already have around the house? Those are called life hacks. People would rather learn or laugh. And that's kind of what I do. That's why my social media, I teach people. That's what I do. So I'm on the learning side, and hopefully I make it a little entertaining. So those are your social media goals. That's what you're trying to do, okay? So let's talk about the perfect social media post. Now some of y'all are going, Eric, you told us there'd be 3 mistakes. What are they? I'm getting there. But some of you people don't even know how to make a good post. So everything you're doing is a mistake. So hush. The perfect social media post. If you're not doing this, you're not doing social media right, okay? There are basically 4 ingredients that must be in every social media post you make as a business, okay? So listen up. Step 1, or ingredient number 1, an eye-catching photo. People, listen. And we're going to talk about these photos, but there's got to be a good photo to catch their attention. Second, a call to attention. And I'm going to go over each one of these, so don't worry. We're going to be talking about each one of these in depth. So an eye-catching photo, a call to attention, a call to action, a call to interaction. And then we're going to measure the success on how many comments we get. Let's go over each one of these. First, the eye-catching photo. You got to realize that when people are on Facebook or on Instagram, whatever, they're scrolling because there's so much and they don't have time. And they want to only focus on the stuff that's going to make them what? Laugh or learn. So they're scrolling. And what makes you stop scrolling? Can we be honest? Can you just tell me, what makes you stop scrolling? A photo or a video, something visual. If all you're seeing is like a paragraph or two posted by one of your friends, you ain't going to read that whole thing unless it's a close friend, okay? You're not going to read it. You're probably going to skip past it. And chances are you're going to throw one of them cheap likes at it so your friend thinks you read it, but you're not going to read that whole thing because you just don't got time. And if it's one of those sad, sappy stories, oh my God, I can't do that. So I'll like it and move on. But that's why you should never just do a text-only post, okay? Don't ever do a text-only post. Every post you make from now on must have a photo, And the sole purpose, and that's it, the sole purpose of that photo is to get people to stop scrolling, okay? Okay. It also generates curiosity. And it's got to be a good photo. I don't want it to just be some boring stock photo of 2 people shaking hands. Oh my gosh, how boring is that? It needs to be a fun photo. Now, you got to watch it because you don't want to cross a line of inappropriate, okay? We want to stay away from certain things. And we'll talk about those when we get to the mistakes. But just make sure that it's not a photo that's going to make people angry. It's not a photo that's going to make someone go, oh my, you know what I'm saying? But it does need to make them stop. It does need to make them go, oh, what in the world? What is that? Okay? A fun photo, a photo of you making a funny face, a photo of a fail even, of a mistake, of something that makes people curious and wonder, what in the world am I looking at? What is happening? Okay? Make it a fun photo, not just a boring picture of something. It's got to be relevant to what you do. I mean, you don't just want a picture of something that has nothing to do with what you do, okay? I mean, if you're a gardener, I don't want a picture of a corporate office building. It needs to be relevant to your business in some way, okay? And like I said, make it appropriate. You got to remember your audience is a very diverse group. And you want to make sure that it's just as appropriate for a Gen Z or a millennial as it is for grandma, okay? And so just be careful with that. And trust me, you're going to make a mistake or two on that. You're going to catch some flack. We all have. It's all happened. But I'm just saying, just keep that in the back of your mind. Keep it appropriate. So number one, you got to have an eye-catching photo. Every post from now on, people. Second, the second ingredient of the perfect social media post is that call to attention. Now, the call to attention is what the post is about. And the sad part is, this is the only thing some of you are posting. You're going out there on your business account and you're posting, hey, today is a buy one, get one at our restaurant. Or, hey, come in and, to our store, 25% off dresses. That's all you're doing. It's like you have a purpose for posting and you put that purpose and that's it. And you expect things to happen and they're not. So this is what the post is about. We call it the call to attention. So the photo, the eye-catching photo made them stop scrolling and long enough to read what the post is about. Remember? You see how this works? Because remember, people, and I say this every single video, everyone on the internet has ADD, okay? Everyone on the internet, they're impatient and they don't read, they scan. That photo is the most important part, I'll be honest, because it makes them stop scrolling and pay attention long enough for you to tell your story or say what you're about to say. That's why you should get to the point. Don't dilly-dally. Don't beat around the bush. Get to the point, okay? Say, here's what we're doing. Here's what we're having. Here's the event that's going on. Get to the point. You don't need to write a full-page thesis on this. But make it exciting too. Don't just be so utilitarian that it's like so functional and you're going for the shortest sentence known to man. Throw some adjectives. Make it sound fun. Make it sound exciting. Make it sound like they're going to have fun or that it's worth their while. Jazz it up a little bit, but don't overdo it. Some of y'all are going, Eric, where do you draw the line? Just practice and also look at other people's posts. You'll see what I'm talking about. And I'm going to give you some good posts as examples coming up here in a second. Make it exciting. Use adjectives. Create a mental picture in their head. It's what the great authors of this planet do. Okay? I mean, the best authors on the planet know how to paint a mental picture with words. And they're using lots of adjectives. Like Stephen King. The reason his stuff is so scary is because you're actually picturing it in your head because of the way he uses adverbs and adjectives. It's a science, people. It really is. It's all about psychology. And I'm telling you, if you go and take a Psych 101 course at your local community college or something, or university, be one of the best things you ever did for your business. Also, use you language. Talk about them by saying you. In other words, it's like you're basically presenting them as already doing it. When you see what we have here, you will love, you will look great in. Talk about it as if they're already participating. Talk about it as if they're already in it, they're doing it. Include them, okay? Don't use third person stuff like everyone's going to have a good time. Don't say that. Don't say everyone. Say you will have a good time. Make it like it's a two-way conversation you're having with someone else, almost like you're texting them. Use you language, not we, not everyone. Don't use third person. So the call to attention. So what do we got so far in our perfect post? We have the eye-catching photo, and the sole purpose of that was what? To get them to stop scrolling. That's it. Just to get their attention, saying, hey, 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 look over here. The second thing is the call to attention. This is what we're telling them about. This is what we want them to know. It's just information. This is the info. But the next thing is even more important. It's the call to action. Now, in the marketing world, we call them CTAs because calls to action are very important. It's kind of like, in other words, based on what I just told you, here's what I want you to do. Now, let's talk about that for a second. You're basically going to tell them to do something. And every single post you have had better tell people to do something. Now you're saying, well, Eric, shouldn't you be nice and polite and ask them nicely and use please? No, tell these sheep what to do. Now that sounds rude, That really does. But in the marketing world, we don't use the word please. And I can prove it to you. When Amazon first designed their website, they had a button up there called catalog. And you could click on catalog and see all there was. Well, they discovered that by playing with the words instead of using the word catalog, they got more clicks on it. And so they next changed it to, please buy. And no one clicked on that. Why? Because grandma thought if she clicked on please buy, she'd already committed to something and she ain't going to click on a button that makes her feel like she bought something. So then they thought, okay, shop. They created a button called shop. And all of a sudden they got more clicks. They got more clicks because people love shopping. With shopping, you can take things and put them in your cart. You can put them back. You're not committing to anything. Shopping is fun. Shopping is easy. Shopping is non-committal. But then someone in their marketing department discovered the most powerful word of all. And when they added it to shop, all of a sudden they got 5 times as many clicks. They simply added the word now. So now you see shop now. Now, that sounds rude, doesn't it? Shop now. Sounds like you're being rude, but here's the deal. You got to realize, and I'm not making judgments, you just got to know how human psychology works. People are sheeple. Remember that. People are sheeple. And unless they can think of a reason not to do something, they will do what you tell them to do. They will, even you. Don't say, I wouldn't, I'm smart. I'd see right through it. Oh no, you do it all the time. And the reason we do what we're told to do is because we're brought up that way. We're taught from a very young age, when adults tell you to do something, you do it. And so we're used to being what? Obedient. And like I said, unless we can think of a reason not to do something, we'll typically do it. And so we don't use the word please in any advertising. So we tell them to do something. We never say please. We never give them an option like it is an option. No, we tell them to do something, and it's not rude. It's called marketing. So for instance, it might be call this number. How many times on an infomercial on TV have you heard them say, call now? It's proving my point, people. They don't say please. You watch any infomercial, you'll never see the word please. It's like, call now, don't miss out. They're practically going to call you a loser if you don't do something. You follow me? So call this number. Print this out. We want them to do something. Like if you're a restaurant, they might print out the Facebook ad and bring it in for a buy one, get one or 20% off. Or maybe you want them to call. So hey, when you see this Facebook message, give us a call at this number. The first 10 people to call get blah, blah, blah. Or you might even do a mention or a check-in. Share this and get something or check in. I remember there was a yogurt place, a frozen yogurt place here in Amarillo where I live. And they had a sign above their door and it said, check in on Facebook and get 20% off your frozen yogurt. And so when people walk in, they would check in on Facebook. Check in is one of them functions that's only on the phone, not on a computer, because it uses your GPS to kind of know where you are. But when they check in, it shows to all their friends. And so they would check in and then show their phone to the person at the cash wrap to prove that they actually did. And they'd get 20% off of frozen yogurt. And those check-ins went viral and that place did quite well. So think, what's your call to action going to be? If you're emphasizing if you're talking about an event, then maybe it's register here, click here. Maybe you just want them to go to your website. Check it out on our website with the link in there. Maybe you just want them to watch your video, which is what I do many times. You want them to watch the video. That's your call to action. So keep in mind, every single social media post that you have must have a call to action. So we have our eye-catching photo, make them stop scrolling. We have our call to attention, what the post is about. And now, based on what they just read, here's what we want them to do. Okay? Every post you make, I hate it. I ask people sometimes, they say, what do you think the purpose of a social media post is for business? And they go, maybe to inform them of something. No, I don't want to inform anybody of anything. I want them to do something. Okay? I want them to take action of some sort. Remember, this is not just about being a kindly little bulletin board for your community. No, you want people in your store. You want people buying products. You want people talking about your company. You got to tell them to do something. But the final piece, the fourth ingredient in the perfect social media post is the call to interaction. If you don't have this, you might as well not even be using social media. Okay? It's going to be a waste of your time. The call to interaction is basically, okay, we got them to stop with the eye-catching photo. We told them what the post is about. We told them what to do. And now we want them to talk about it. This is how we get them to comment. Remember, I told you that the way you measure success is by getting them to comment. And in fact, on social media, your goal is to generate comments. That's it. Your secret goal is to get people to comment, because the only way they're going to remember you, the only way you're going to get branded, the only way you're going to get a lot of good customers, a lot of good leads out of this is if you get them talking. And on social media, that means comments. And remember what I told you, people love to comment. They want to give you their opinion. And so some of y'all are going, Eric, if people love to comment and give their opinion, then how come they're just not already doing it on my post? I'll tell you exactly why. Because on a business page, people don't feel like they have permission to comment to you. They think of it like a billboard for your company. And so you need to invite them to comment. You need to give them permission to. You need to ask their opinion. People love it when you ask their opinion. But you got to ask. And that's why every single post needs to end in a question. Did you hear me? End in a question. Every single social media you post must end in a question where you're asking their opinion. And you're going to need to spend time on this and think about it more than any other part of the post, because this is going to be the make or break. This is going to be the thing that defines whether you're doing this right or not. And don't ask a yes or no question. People, those are lazy. Would you like to eat something like this? And all people are doing is going, they're liking it, going, oh, they'll know that means yes. Don't ever ask a yes or no question. Ask an open-ended question. Did you hear me? Must be an open-ended question. Like a why, like a how. What would you do? What do you think? You know, what's your opinion? Which would you choose? Not, do you think this is cool? People, I'm telling you, this is the most important, and I mean the most important part of any social media post you do. Because this is going to get you the comments. I promise people, if you do this, listen to me. If you do this, I guarantee your social media will take off for your business. It really is this simple. He's making it out to be so simple. Is it really that? Yes, it is that simple. Because why? It's science. It is tied to human psychology, and I already explained why. People want to give their opinion. They have a need to. And when you give them permission, and not only give permission, but ask for that feedback, they're happy to. If you look at the national accounts, the national social media accounts of a lot of big companies, you're going to see I'm right. They do the same thing. I'm just telling you how they do it. I'm just telling you the secret. So what are the 4 ingredients? The eye-catching photo, make them stop scrolling. The call to attention, what it's about. The call to action, what you want them to do based on what they just read. And then finally, the call to interaction, the question asking for their opinion. Now, some of y'all are probably saying, Eric, what should I be looking for? Watch the comments. The way you're going to check to see if you're doing this right is you watch those comments and you see what they're doing. Now, some of y'all are saying, Eric, what do I do when people comment? Oh my gosh. Think, McFly, think. You answer them. You're going to answer them. That's what interaction is about. When people comment, if they ask a question, hey, do you have this in a size 8? Answer them. This is how you get business. Now, some of y'all are going to say, Eric, I just don't have time. I don't have time to sit there on Facebook all day. I'm not saying you need to spend time all day on this. I'm saying check in every once in a while and answer. You don't just need to sit on there all the time. You got to run your business. I get that. Some businesses are large enough and they have enough people following them that they have someone who's answering comments. But when people see that you respond, you're basically showing your expertise in your answers to their comments. Also, you can use your answers to ask more questions. Hey, what do you think of this? Hey, we have a bunch more. Would you like to see them? Hey, you know what I'm saying? Ask more questions. Keep the conversation going. That's what this is about. Start a discussion. And the cool thing is if you can get a lot of people talking where you're not really having to, they're talking to each other. Now, you got to be careful because you don't want it to go in a weird direction and get all negative, because that can happen. But we'll talk about that in a minute when we get to the mistakes. But my point is, get that discussion going, because everyone following that discussion, everyone reading those comments, who are they focusing on? You. Who are they focusing on? Your company. What are they thinking about? Your products and services. And that's what all this is about. I'm telling you, people, this works. So example number 1, y'all ask for an example, I'll give you an example. This would be for a clothing store. Now I want you to notice the 4 ingredients. Now you're not seeing one of them because I wanted you to be able to read all this text. But imagine, if you will, a picture of a blouse, okay? Just a really good picture of a blouse. And then here it is. Just received a small shipment of these beautiful blouses, no two alike. Call immediately if you want me to hold one back for you. They will go fast. What color skirt would go best in your opinion? Now let's take this apart. First ingredient would have been the picture, which I just explained. But the second is the call to attention. That's what this is. This is the call to attention. Here's what the post is about. Just received a small shipment of these beautiful blouses, no two alike. The next piece, the third ingredient, is what? The call to action. Call them immediately if you want me to hold one back for you. They will go fast. Okay? Are you seeing how this is put together? But the final piece is what? The call to interaction, where we get them to comment. What color skirt would go best in your opinion? This is where we're asking their opinion. Now, some people say, Eric, okay, that makes sense for a clothing store, but let's come up with something a little tougher. Okay, how about a funeral home? Everyone says funeral homes can't use social media. Let's get tough. Let's see if you can take the pieces apart in this one. You've heard of cremation, but what about biocremation? Using lion heat, the body is converted into simple elements safe enough to pour into a lake, ocean, or your garden. Visit our site now to see the video. What do you think of this process? And by the way, yes, that is true. I have spoken on social media at a funeral directors conference, and I've seen this thing that does this, and it's creepy as all get out, but they actually do it. So take a look. You've heard of cremation, but what about biocremation and using a lion heat? You probably have a picture of this big metal tube, which is what it is. You can see the first piece. I'm not going to highlight it for you. The call to action would be visit our site now to see the video. And then the call to interaction would be, what do you think of this process? Okay, one more, an artist. Okay, here's what an artist might do. So it'd be a picture of their art. That would be what catch people's attention. And then finish this watercolor just now. Everyone asks how I get those sunsets. Just so. It ain't easy. Now, see, the secret on my website is the call to action. And where in the world do you think they have the best sunsets is what? The call to interaction. Are you seeing how this works? Trust me, Before you know it, you'll be just doing these 4 ingredients without even thinking about it. It is simple, 4 ingredients. And if you do it and you paint it in a way that's exciting and fun and have fun with it, it works every time. Whew. I told you that in talking about the 3 big mistakes people make, the most important thing is that you do it right. And what I just explained to you and spent some good time doing is showing you how to create the perfect social media post. Now, when you do it, there are 3 mistakes you must avoid. Okay, and I'm going to talk about each one. First, talking bad about your competition. Don't ever do it. Second, pushing your politics. And finally, any talk of religion whatsoever. Let's go over each one. And I'm going to have some people who won't agree with me on some of this stuff, and that's fine. I'm just telling you from a business standpoint, these are true. And you can ask any PR, any marketing person out there, they will agree with me on this. So step one, or one of the biggest mistakes you can make is talking bad about your competition. And where this usually comes into play is when someone says, well, why should I use you instead of, Joe Blow's company? What do they do wrong? And what you want, see, here's the deal. You know your competition and you know what kind of losers they are. And you know that maybe they don't do all their work honestly, or they charge too much, or their employees aren't near as qualified as yours and they're losers. You know all of this because you know your industry. And you so want to tell your customers, oh, don't do business with Joe. He'll rob you blind. And you want to tell them that, but you can't. Trust me, you can't do it. It will burn you. Don't ever talk bad about your competition. Trust me on this. Talk more about your positives, not their negatives. And so when they ask you, and like people used to ask me, and I'm going to use a fake name for the competition. Eric, I talked to Jane's websites, and why should I use you instead of them? Here's what I say. Oh, they're really nice over at Jane's, but here's what we do different. Here's what we do better. I'm not going to mention that Jane charges too much. I'm not going to mention that the website she creates look like they were built by a 12-year-old. I'm not going to say any of that. I'm going to turn that around and say, you know what? We're the largest web design firm between Dallas and Denver. And we've worked on sites like yours. And your website will be national quality, and you can get a hold of us at any time. We've been around longer than all the rest. Do you see how all I'm doing is talking about my positives? I'm talking about my positives. Don't ever, people hear me, don't ever talk about the negatives of your company. Question. Giselle is asking, how long is required weekly for a biz presence? Oh, I get asked that a lot. And basically, how many times should you post on social media, or how much time should you spend doing it? I would say at least once a week. You need to be posting at least once a week on social media for your company. If you want to be relevant, once a week, you got to remind everyone every week that you exist. And you're saying, well, Eric, is there too much? How much is too much? Well, Giselle, there really is no such thing as too much. If people like what you're feeding them, they'll take as much as you can give them. There's some comedians on the internet that I could watch them all day, every day, because they're funny. But there's some people where it's stupid. And so it's like, no, skip. So really, the amount you post is tied to the quality of your content. If you're serving filet mignon every day, then people will eat it every day. But if your posts are not that good, then once a week. I say once a week minimum. And there is no maximum, because like I said, and here's the deal, you just need to measure it. And when you start to see people not commenting or unfriending or unfollowing, then you might be sending too much, and back off a little bit. It's going to be different for every business. Some restaurants can get away with posting every day because people want those coupons. So like at 11 a.m., A lot of restaurants will post, hey, today is a buy one, get one. Hey, today, drinks are free for kids. Today is blah, blah, blah. And they can get away with doing it every day because they're coupons. People are seeing a value. People got to eat every day. But if you sell dresses, people won't need to buy a dress every day. So unless you're really showing off totally different things all the time, like I said, your audience will tell you if you're doing too much. Great question, Giselle. Okay. So talk about your positives, not their negatives. And my favorite thing to do, because here's the deal. You never want to compliment their abilities, okay? You got to say something nice. So say it about themselves as people. You can always get away with that. Never say they're good. Say they're good people. Or I know them, they're nice. You follow me? But never say they're good at what they do. Like I would never say, oh yeah, Jane's websites, they're really good at that. I would not compliment them on their abilities. I would compliment them on breathing. You follow me? On their ability to exist. So when someone says, and they're directly looking for me to say something bad about my competition, why should I use you over Jane's websites? I'm going to say, well, they're great people. I know them. But here's what we do different. And when you start listing your positives and you called it that way, here's what we do different. People are going to realize and they're going to figure out, well, if this is what they do different, then I guess Jane does it this way. Let them figure it out for themselves. I remember one time, and I've always believed this about talking bad about your competition. I got a customer and the customer said I was going to go with Jane's websites. But when I asked her about y'all, when I asked Jane about you, Eric, she was just talking bad about you. And I will not do business with someone like that. And you never talk bad about her. So anyway, they chose to use me because I wouldn't bad talk my competition. But once again, just because you won't bad talk them does not mean you have to compliment their abilities. Just compliment their ability to pump blood in their bodies, okay? Hey, I know them, they're good people, but here's how we're different. Always flip it back to your positives, okay? Trust me on this. If you talk negative, if you think the only way you can get business is by talking garbage on your competition, it will burn you. It will burn you. Customers hate bad talkers. Customers hate when you try to get business by talking negative on someone else. Next, pushing your politics. The second big mistake. People, and this is hard. I often have people stop watching me when I get to this one, and especially the one on religion here in a minute, because it makes them angry, what I'm about to say. And so you just need to keep listening to me, okay? Because I'm not, as far as y'all know, y'all don't even know what my politics are. And that's because in none of my presentations have I ever let you know that. And I do that on purpose because I don't care. All of you are my customers. And so I focus on my business. You got to realize right now that with politics, the country is divided. People believe very different things. And so stay out of it because you will only get burned. And here's the big thing. You have customers on both sides. You may think you don't. I know some people here in Texas, in some of these small towns, and they think every one of their customers believes exactly the same way they do. And so they will make some political statement they'll endorse some candidate or they'll push some political point, and think that it'll make their customers love them even more. No, it won't. You got to realize that you have customers on both sides. And the second you take a side, you are pushing away a group of customers. You are costing yourself business, and you didn't have to. You didn't have to. You're doing a foul, a self-generating foul, whatever you call that. You're shooting yourself in the foot for no reason. Don't assume that every customer believes the same way you do. Don't assume that every customer you have has the same political affiliation you do. And here's the sad part. The longer you're in business, You may have been in business 40 years. The harder it is for you to believe that you have customers with different beliefs. Because the ones you talk to the most probably do agree with you. And so you think, oh, I'm going to put this up, this meme where it's making fun of another political candidate. This will be funny. This meme where it's making fun of this side or that side. It's going to be funny. And my customers will think that's funny. No, no, no. You're just going to cost yourself customers. Folks, you save that for your personal page. You do not do it on your business page. You do not post anything political on your business page. Did you hear me? You do not say, my company stands with blah, 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 blah. Whether you feel that way or not, do not do it. It will only hurt you. If you want to do that, you go post it on your personal page with your friends and your family. But keep it off of your business page. Now, I know some of you disagree with me. You're saying, Eric, it's about standing for what's right. No, it's about standing for what you believe. And our country is divided, as it says right there. And different people believe different things. And if you start saying that the only way to believe is this way, you're going to push away those customers who don't believe that. It's going to cost you, and it will burn you. Stay out of the political fray on your business account. Here's the one where I get most people the most angry at me. Don't you dare talk about religion or what you believe or anything like that on your business page. Don't ever do it. But Eric, it's freedom of religion. This has nothing to do with it. And some of y'all are going to say, but Eric, what about if we're a church? Well, of course, okay. I mean, I shouldn't even have to say this. If you're a church or you're a religious nonprofit or what you do has to do with religion, then of course you have permission, okay, to talk about religion. No one's saying you can't do that. But the majority of you, your business has nothing to do with religion, and you would sell to people of any religion. And if that's the case, don't talk about it. It is the most dangerous subject on the planet to bring up. Hear me, look at me, the most dangerous. And it's because it's the one issue that people have the strongest bias about. They have the strongest beliefs about. And if you take a side on this, you're basically pushing everyone else to the side. You're pushing everyone else away. I'm telling you, some of y'all will say, well, but it's our job to stand up for what we believe, you know, to evangelize those. And I want to use the stage of my company to do that, blah, blah. Don't do it. You use your personal page for that. Just trust me on this. I've seen many companies burned on this, and you think that everyone believes the same way you do. They do not. Did you hear me? They do not. We are a very, very diverse country. We don't all believe the same. Just trust me. Keep all talk of religion out of your business page. All of it. Save it for your business page. I have seen companies get burned for this. I have seen companies where employees were so angry that the boss implied that they believed a certain thing. I mean, I've seen it turn into a huge problem. Do not mention religion or anything like that on your webpage at all. Now you're saying, well, Eric, what if a national tragedy occurs and you want to say something like, well, me and my company are putting up, let's all put up prayers for. Yeah, you can probably get away with that because you're not claiming to be any one particular religion. You follow me? There's levels you can go to, but I'm saying just to be careful, don't do it. Stay away from cultural topics, people. And you know what I'm talking about. Do not post anything about abortion on your business page. Do not post anything about your support for or against LGBTQ people on your business page. I'm telling you, just focus on your business, because all you're going to ask for is problems. Okay. Remember, focus on your business. Stay out of personal discussions on your business page. And remember, your audience is diverse. And it represents a lot of beliefs, a lot of thinking, and a lot of political beliefs, okay? So just focus on your business and what makes you better than everybody else. Questions on any of this? Y'all have been so good to listen. Whoops, went too far forward. There we go. Okay, questions? Anyone at all? Anna?
I don't see any questions. I don't have any questions. That was yet another great presentation. Thank you so much, Eric. We always
Oh, my
love having
pleasure.
you. And just want to let you guys know that we've got Eric next week, actually 2 more times, once on Tuesday and once on Friday at noon. And those are available on our website. I'm actually going to go ahead and chat through the registration links. So be sure not to miss him, because right now we don't have him scheduled for additional ones, although we hope to have him here again with us soon. And yeah, just appreciate having you, Eric.
Oh, thank you for the kind words, Nicole and Dennis in the chat. Thank you. And
Yeah, and at the beginning we had a yay, Eric, love your webinars. We do love your webinars so much.
thank y'all. Thank y'all. I'm glad I could help. I'm
Yeah,
trying, just trust me, if y'all do the social media stuff, you're gonna see a difference. I promise. I promise, I promise.
we've gotten a couple of thank yous coming in. So yeah, very much so. Thank you, Eric. And I guess if there aren't any more questions, we will go ahead and end this webinar. We'll see you soon.